Hi, this is an auxiliary video for my recent post harvesting data on the microbiome. One of my frustrations or irritation point is I see a lot of sites offering services and they do a lousy job of documenting or even providing information. Basically, they just toss at you enough information so that the majority of people hopefully will think, oh, that's it, and leave them alone, because they are not really interested in getting good information to you. They're interested in selling you a product, a kit, a microbiome kit, or a product. So let's take a look at a couple of things. The traditional approach, which many of these providers do, which is last century was appropriate, or at least last decade, was they would hire a dietitian or healthcare provider to provide the information. Simple as that. After all, we're handing off the issue to the professionals who know who's best. Unfortunately, that is a high risk scenario, because the person handing off to may have not done a course in the matter for 10 years or 20 years. Their information may be stale. Not only that, the studies they may be referring to may have since been retracted as being incorrect, or new studies shown totally different results. So using an expert who is not clearly on top of things and can demonstrate that they are absolutely current is a risk. It is not what I would suggest any company offering advice to do, because the quality of stuff you get is often going to be questionable, sometimes going to be completely wrong. And more importantly, if your customers ask for the evidence backing up the suggestions, they will suddenly find the expert may do a bunch of hand waving or come back and say, okay, yes, I can find that, but that's going to cost you X thousands of dollars for me to dig up the research for it again, in which case that generally ends the conversation. So that is it. It's basically an old school book approach, what somebody read from a book which may have been written 30 years ago, or what they learned in a course which may be 10 or 20 years ago, and they shooting from the hip with old information. Microbiome prescription approach has advantage. I haven't done any formal courses in there. I've read books, but I also have read Pubmed and realized that the data is dramatically changing every year. There is an increase in the last 5 to 8 years. We have had something like 10 times more studies done than in all time before that. So, and anybody working from continual knowledge probably only is working off of 5% of available knowledge. So what I wanted to do was document the process, so there's no excuse for all these people not to improve the quality of things. And very simple. First step is to go to Pubmed. You go in and you search for something, like, for example, here I have autism, and I'll just go in and copy that, open up a new window, paste the string, example string across, and voila, it comes back and it gives you, I asked for a maximum 10, you can ask for 100, 1,000, 10,000 if you want, and gives you a list of all the Pubmed studies on the U.S. National Library of Medicine, which that word is. And more importantly, it will automatically not look just for autism exact word match. It will use its smarts to look up equivalency, like artistic disorder instead of autism. So the result is you get a rich collection of studies to work from. The next thing is, once you have that, then you can simply go and pull in the actual studies. And in this case, I'm using XML because it gives structured data. You can also ask it for JSON too. So what we do is we just say, okay, here are the studies, show me the content. And it gives you all the information that appears on Pubmed on the summary pages. So all the information is just sitting there. You click enter, and voila, and now we have it. So we have the article ID, which is right here. and then we have the title, the abstract in, everything about it. We also have all sorts of things, keywords which we used, years published, and more importantly, here we have other versions of getting the full thing. The Pubmed ID is this number here, which is just a summary. This here is the full text version, so you could grab a full text version if you prefer. And then here is the DOI one, which you can go in, and if you take a DOI like this one, and let me go and do that. Just paste in that magic number, and voila, and it takes us over to the studies, and here we have the full text sitting there using a DOI number. So it gives you the ability to know where to go next to get the same data. Okay, so that means we get a text. Next comes the question is parsing it. Now, parsing it is technically a data science skill set. Most developers can do it. Python JSON has a rich collection of utilities to do so. So if you get a moderately skilled developer, they can do it. You may have a little bit of hand holding and tuning, but that is basically it. And now once you have that, and if you drop that into a reasonably well-designed database, which hopefully the developer can also do for you, you're ready to roll. So let's go over and take a look. Okay, here is my version for creating it, where I have 3 panels. One over here, I have medical conditions. Notice the @ sign and the 64. That means there are 64 studies which I don't have currently in my database, which have not been reviewed, which may provide additional information. I have substances like olive oil, 71, and we'll use olive oil. Over here we have bacteria name. How many studies mention chlamydia here? How many studies mention mycoplasma? We see there's 300 there. I go, now the catch is I click any one of these and everything could show up under one article, and now it's just a matter of doing it. Now, one of the key thing is, and a reasonable medium level developer can do it, is to get a friendly UI. And here is a working example of the style of UI I would suggest, which means you now have something you can point your developer at and say, hey, this is what we want to do it. So I'll go and click olive oil, and it goes over, and here are all the individual citations showing here. And here I have the number of conditions, number of modifiers, and the number of bacteria there. So let's take a look at the first one. Oh, wait a minute. On the right side, we have the name of the modifiers. We have the name of the bacteria. And we have also if there are any conditions in it. Some cases they may be mentioned. In other cases, note. The aspect of trying to do data mining is you will get a percentage of false positives. So it may say SIBO here, but a SIBO may have occurred because some keyword in there looks like SIBO, and hence it was flagged as this one could be done with SIBO. But what we have here is we have all sorts of things being mentioned. So we have lemon, we have thyme, which is over here. We have black pepper. We have garlic. There we go, garlic. We have olive oil, which is what I was looking for. And oregano is there. And garlic paste, oregano, chili paste, don't have lemongrass, is in the combination. Lime juice is there, so that's marked there. Chicken is what's being applied to, and basil, let's go to, we have basil there. So basil is in that list too. And we now have, those are all the things I mentioned, and what do all of them do? They are reduces salmon oil right here. They reduce this temperature in Juni there. And Listeria there. So those are the three things it reduces. So all I have to do is go up here, click here, and down the bottom you will see here that's actual technical command and send off to the database to record the information. And over here I actually have the link for going directly to the article if I wanted to actually see the article as written. Once I have done it and finished everything I want, I simply click review. And it moves on to the next one. And next one, if I take a look at it, and let's get myself down someplace else, we have sodium butyrate, blah, 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 blah. And going through it, I don't see anything which is clearly usable, so I'll just click review. Move on to another one. Okay. Okay, describing the fermentation, and so interested, but I'm not interested in what is produced in fermentation and whether or not the fermentation actually we hear a bit of interesting question since olives will ferment it. It means that it feeds it. So therefore, we can go up here and mark Lactobacillus, Pithecoccus, Harmonus. We see an absence of Enterococcus, so we can forget about that one. And Marion is also an increase. And Saccharomyces, do we have that? We should have to there. No, yep, that is there. That's another thing which is grown on it. And we have one there. So what we do is we go up here and we're talking about olive and olive oil, and they are combined together. One could argue they should be kept separate. We can do that, but you get more and more thing. And what all these do, we know is we increase. So now we have an increase, and now I'm going to clear the bacteria. And this is the one that decreases. So I'm going to click here and decrease. And now we click reviewed. And we're on to the next one. And the next one, okay, that one I'm making call to pass. It is being used as a food additive. Mediterranean diet. And we have up here, we have Mediterranean diet there. And we have, it reduces the risk of, okay, now I can show you one more other things. Okay, these include, these include enhance the growth. So we have colostrum menicum right there. And you can, oh, it didn't, okay, we catch one, we didn't catch a precise one for some reason. Sometimes it's because of spelling differences. The bacterium, refer to the bacteria there, bacteroids, Phosphopsy, and Firmicutes and colostomes are there. So we have that basically being what is increase, and we do bacteria clear, and what is decreased is Blottia is decreased and Firmicutes is decreased, but Firmicutes is at a phylum, at a subkingdom level, and I tend not to record that one, so I have coded to exclude that, and we have reduced that, reviewed, and we're on to the next one. So as you see, it's basically click back and forth. We also have the ability that if it helps or hurts the condition, we can mark it here and then down here for the managed conditions. I should have done that for the last one, etc. So we can go here, or we can go over and just hop around. And as you see, the response is fast. The highlighting makes it easy to see what's going on. And now it's just a matter of reading it and identifying what is important there. Okay, so that is basically it. So process is straightforward, it's simple, it's fast, and what you do is you do occasionally have problems trying to figure out what in the world is being said and how to evaluate it. But that's a whole different kettle of fish. The thing is, we have the items pre-selected, or the most likely items pre-selected, and all you have to do is put clicks by it, and voila, you're done.